Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen and we'll get going. And I'm sure people will be joining us along the way. More people. Thanks, guys, so much for jumping on time. Here we go. Let's get into it. Okay, well, every single week I bring to you guys the Isagenix Opportunity webinar just to make it convenient and simple and easy for you to hear about Isagenix from the comfort of your home. And for those of you that don't know me, my name's Corinne, and I am going to share a little bit about my story and my journey with Isagenix as well as we go through the presentation. So I'm just going to get into the first part here, which is our disclaimers. Because when it comes to Isagenix, nothing is guaranteed, but anything is possible. And that's included for the products and the stories that you're going to hear about people's transformations with our amazing nutrition systems, and also any income earning disclaimers as well. Just so you know that, any work that you put into Isagenix is the result that you get out of it. And that's the real beauty of this. So for those of you jumping on and going, well, what is Isagenix? I've maybe heard a friend talking about it for a wee while, or they've invited me on here because they've thought about me. But Isagenix is simplified holistic wellness. Our nutrition is from the ground. There's nothing artificial. Everything is completely cold pressed with raw ingredients that are delivered straight to your doorstep. So everything is real food in super convenient, accessible way for our hectic, busy lifestyles. So why do we need something like Isagenix? Why do we need Isagenix as part of our daily lifestyles? And I firmly believe that Isagenix has become a necessity in our everyday lives now. And I really, really hope I convey that to you through this presentation. And it's not just some luxury product that maybe we'll include it in our lives. I really believe that it's a necessity, and why I've been using Isagenix for almost 4 years. Reason number one, nutritional depletion. So our soils are depleted of nutrients. That was as high as 40% nutrient soil depletion back in 1999 at the end of this study. So being now that we're almost going in 2019, that's a long time between. And we can start to be really, get really present to this being the case, because we've got mass production, mass farming. There's a lot of spraying of our soils. There's a lot of turning over of the soils to relay. So the farmers are getting the food out there. And the quicker and the higher rate that those soils are being turned over, they lose nutritional value. So an apple a day keeps the doctor away might have been something that our grandparents or their parents could have lived by, but it's absolutely not something we can live by now in the 21st century. It used to be five a day were the recommended. Now it's 9 a day, and it's rapidly changing, all because we're trying to get that nutritional value into our bodies. Reason number two is stress. So you can chat in the chuck that's me in the chat box if you know how to. If you face stress at any point in your life each day, usually it's easier if I ask the question, who doesn't? Because there's less people. But every single person faces stress in some way, shape, or form every single day, and it's so very apparent that we all are living a much higher stressful lives. We're busy, on the go, making ends meet, working hard, and then hectic and full on at the weekends, right? And that's why these studies show that between 75 to 90% of visits to the doctor are actually stress related. And I was blown away when I first heard that statistic. That is huge. And as we know, long-term stress can lead to unhealthy physiological changes within the body. And they're just changes that we are seeing more and more and more people suffering with, and something that we cannot take lightly as it being I'll be okay, it won't be me type scenario. We're all facing stress. We need to find ways to deal with it, and Isagenix fill that space. Reason number three that we need these health solutions are because of toxicity. So this was something that I actually had no idea about before I heard about Isagenix. But there are 100,000 chemicals in commercial use back in 2002. We're talking in our makeups. We're talking in like hairspray, shampoos, conditioners, deodorants with aluminium. There are so many chemicals, harsh chemicals, that are being used in commercial use that our bodies were not designed to take on. Now, our bodies have evolved, of course, over time, but they are not made to deal with the chemicals and the toxins that are so frequently put on them, put in them, or surrounding our bodies. And so we need a way in which to be able to release those impurities and those chemicals that our liver and our kidneys just cannot do by themselves. So these are really 3 key reasons of why we need Isagenix. So what do we focus on when you get hold of that nutrition? How does it look for you? So we know why we need it, but now what do? Well, we get started on our Isagenix system, and we focus on days when we nourish and days when we fast and cleanse. And a nourished day looks like this. You're still eating beautiful, healthy, well-balanced meals. But, we do know that we're living fast-paced lives, and being able to meal prep and eat fresh organic produce every single day, 3 times a day, is tough. So Isagenix have formulated this beautiful smoothie, superfood smoothie, that is packed with all of those vitamins and minerals that we need. It's packed with our fats, carbs, and protein, so it is a complete meal. You've got all raw, cold-pressed ingredients. So like I said at the beginning, this is all still real food, just powdered, cold-pressed production. So you're only blending this up with water and ice. High in its bioavailability, so you can absorb it in your gut straight away. And it's just a complete balanced meal. This isn't just a protein shake or a standard meal replacement you could pop into Boots and buy off the shelf. This is very, very specific and high grade nutrition. So we have 2 to 3 of these smoothies every single day, plus we have our clean eating and our snacks as well, because this is about nourishing our bodies and finding balance, not about restricting and dieting and removing everything from our lives. And like I said before, this isn't your average shake. This has the equivalent of 3 to 5 plates worth of organic food. And as much as I love eating and still love eating my meals to this day, there is no way I could get 3 to 5 plates worth of organic food on each meal, because 1, I definitely don't have the money for that. And 2, I don't have the stomach capacity to eat all of that. But, this 3 to 5 plates worth is so that we're getting the nutritional value that our bodies need because of the depletion of the fruits and veggies. So we're cared for because of these shakes. On top of that, we've got some other beautiful products here as part of our health system, and these contain adaptogens. I don't know if any of you guys on the call have heard of adaptogens before, or those of you that are in Isagenix have heard of adaptogens now. I hadn't heard of them before, but they are beautiful botanicals, herbs, and vitamins that are sourced from plants that grow in very, very harsh environments, and ours come from Russia. And they're put into our Isagenix Supreme and our Energy Booster e-shots. And what they help the body to do is reduce the effects of stress. So we're facing stress every single day, but with Isagenix, we're able to combat the effects of that stress. So the Isagenix Supreme in particular is the first thing I have every single morning, made from so many plant extracts, including the adaptogens. They help us fight oxidative stress. So there's the stresses as well that we're breathing in and we're consuming in our water. So really helps the body to rest and recover. You get a lot of performance athletes that love using the adaptogens so that their body can recover faster between training. So really beautiful product. The e-shots, again, really help us with our energy, long lasting, clean caffeine, nothing like a coffee or a tea, completely clean caffeine that helps bring us up just very naturally, made of green tea and yerba mate, and helps us continue with that beautiful energy throughout the day with the adaptogens as well. So on top of our nourished days where we're eating and we're having our adaptogens, we're also having fasting days. And typically in your first month, when you're doing a bit of a rebalance, you're going to be fasting 1 to 2 days every single week. And that can look however you like. And the person that gets you started can take you through and coach you through how to have a fasting day. But the reason during that first 30 days you need to do exactly 1 a week is because it really helps our bodies rest our gut. So we're actually digesting everything that we've been habitually eating and snacking on, actually maximize the absorption of everything in our gut, let it rest. So we're still metabolizing, but we're not digesting. We consume this beautiful Cleanse for Life, the Nourish for Life it's called in the UK. And what that allows our body to do is get deep into those toxins that have become visceral fat that sit around our organs. So although I didn't start Isagenix on a weight wellness program, I started for energy and vitality, I still cleansed because my body was still taking on toxins and chemicals from everyday use, and I wanted to be able to cleanse and release those from my body. So I cleanse once a week, and studies upon studies upon studies have shown that this really helps improve so much around our cardiovascular health, cognitive health, and reducing stress. And what this basically looks like is a day where we have no food or smoothies. We have our cleanse juice. We have some of these chocolates that you see on here. And we've got the little Scooby snacks that help keep our body in balance. But it's a very normal Eastern style, natural remedy for caring for our health and our gut. In the Western world, not so normal, but becoming more that way. Intermittent fasting. So beautiful and powerful for keeping a balanced wellness. So when I heard all of that, I really got that this was a necessity in our everyday life and something that we could very, very simply utilize and something that I could get behind. And although I watched my husband Steve use Isagenix for about 3 months before I got started, when it was my time, when it felt my time, I was all in. And before Isagenix, I was working as a shift worker, and I was working anything between 12 to 13-hour shifts as a midwife in the hospital, days, nights, weekends, whatever we were rostered. And I was completely and utterly exhausted. I was really, really struggling to get back after my shifts, really struggling to get back into balance after I'd worked. And I'd found that my days off work, I was just recovering, and then I was back on shift again. And it was this monotonous hamster wheel of life, and I was absolutely exhausted. I don't know if anyone can relate, but I was constantly bloated. I was never getting enough nutrition in me. I would be so tired that I would just graze, and it wasn't always the healthiest of things that I was grazing on because I was tired. But then when I was in the zone, I was meal prepping and I was working out, and it was just so inconsistent. It was so inconsistent. And I'd seen Steve have great results, and a friend had introduced him. And I thought, there's nothing else to do but really give this a go, really see what was in it for me. I'd seen all these results. I'd heard all these people's stories, but what was going to be the difference for me? And I implemented Isagenix, and really, in that first week, I noticed this massive head fog, this grey fogginess really start to shift. That's why the Ionics became my best friend. Absolutely love it. But when I started cleansing and replenishing my body, I felt my energy pick up. I lost a lot of bloating. I lost a lot of puffiness all over my body. And I had energy, consistent energy every single day. And so obviously that is why I've continued to use these systems, and they've been designed to be a lifestyle program. So super easy, super convenient. And what I learned and discovered along the way is that as people were asking me what I was doing, and as I reached out to offer them a solution to their health when they had shared with me that what they were looking for, it was an absolute joy to help them. And then I discovered more about why Isagenix have chosen to use this business model of network marketing for the products to be distributed. Because really, network marketing is people helping other people. And that was something that I could really get behind. It had been something I was doing in my everyday life as a midwife, my everyday life as a friend and as a daughter and as a wife. I loved helping people. So it made absolute sense that Isagenix used this very natural way of distributing Isagenix. No false advertisements or claims in magazines or just superstars boosting posts or influencers on Instagram boosting posts. This was just real people talking and sharing with other real people. So I really want to just share with you guys a little bit more about what is network marketing and how could this possibly benefit my life as well. because this is the entire Isagenix opportunity. So the markets that Isagenix tap into are listed here on the screen. On a worldwide global expenditure for these markets outside of Isagenix, people are spending $286 billion in these markets combined. $286 billion. Yet disease, obesity, and stress are on the rise year upon year upon year. There is no doubt about it. We see it. I was seeing babies being born obese. You know, it was getting worse and worse and worse, sicker and sicker women. And we can see it. We can see it. There is no denying the statistics that the UK is in the top 10 for the most obese countries in the world. The Western world is suffering with our disease, obesity, and stress. And I really, truly believe that people are spending this $286 billion, yet they're clearly not getting the results. And I feel it's one of two reasons. One, people are purchasing or enrolling into programs or products that just simply do not work. They've been endorsed, they've been sponsored ads, people have been sucked in and they do not work. Or two, let's give shadow of the doubt here, that they work, but they're completely unsustainable because they're about restriction, calorie counting, and it's just not a normal part of an everyday life practice. And this is where I see and know Isagenix to be the significant shift and change in all of that, because we have got long-term health results by utilizing this lifestyle system. All right, so the third reason of why network marketing, Isagenix is very much moving with the times, but network marketing is an online platform, and we can see that the online world is evolving rapidly, so rapidly, right? I flew from the South Island of New Zealand back up to the North Island here in my home, and I checked in online. I got sent a boarding pass to my phone. I turned up at the airport with hand luggage only, and I strolled through security where I met one person, and I walked to the plane. I scanned my boarding pass on the machine, and I walked on the plane and sat down. I didn't have to deal with a single person other than the security guy. That showed me how significantly that online world is shifting, because beforehand I would have had to have stood in a queue, spoken to a check-in person, then before I got on the plane, spoken to another check-in person. And you can just see, like, you can turn up at the supermarket. I went into Asda and I saw how many self-service checkout tills there were as opposed to checkout men and women. You know, you can see so much shifting online. I know you guys are huge fans of Amazon, eBay, you know, so many online platforms to order your food from, order your shopping from, heck, even Netflix, to be able to just sit there and at the click of a button. So Isagenix are very, very much, well, everything. You can only purchase your products online. You've got your online nutrition wholesale account on an app on your phone. So there is a lot of convenience that comes with the online world, and the e-commerce industry, which is this, is predicted to increase and grow by double digits for the foreseeable future. And I don't know if anybody that is on this call tonight is a bit number savvy when it comes to predictions, but there's never a market that is predicted to grow by double digits for the foreseeable future, and maybe for a few months, but not for the foreseeable future. So we all know that how the world is tracking and trending. And that does mean that there's a high number of redundancies in jobs. And it might not be your job. It might not be your job that is at risk of redundancy, but it also might be your job. And so I'm not sharing that statistic or that fact to scare anyone, but I am sharing it so that people start thinking ahead. I am sharing it so that people start to think, am I going to be an early adopter and start to generate something for myself? Or am I really struggling to just pay that specific bill every single week? Is there something that can support me in making a secondary income? Because social media is a huge platform. And, you know, when done well, you can really, really utilize social media for sharing your journey with Isagenix. I am definitely not an advocate of just pumping your news feed about product, sale. totally. And anyone on this call, feel free to add me on Instagram and Facebook if you want some support with how to share this effectively. But social media is a platform where we get to display our lives, and network marketing and using Isagenix as part of our lifestyle is just such a simple, natural way of sharing something we love. And I'm pretty sure you guys are all pros at sharing things you love already, whatever it might be. Again, network marketing comes with the freedom of creativity without the stress. You know, you're not going into business to pay rent on a property, or to pay bills, or to to pay staff is what I mean. You know, the only thing you have to purchase is your Isagenix nutrition. Too easy. Now, I could do another whole call on residual income, so I'm not going to go too deeply into it. But what I will share is very, very basic. We all have residual bills. We all have bills that turn up in our emails. We have them turn up on our doorstep. Every single month, you'll have your rent or your mortgage to pay every single month. If you want to go on holiday or you want to go traveling, you're always going to still have your rent and your mortgage to pay. It comes in every single week. Residual income is where you can get paid every single week for the work that you've already done before. So instead of going to work and trading X amount of hours for how much you get paid over and over and over again for the work that you do that first time. That's the beauty of residual income. And if you have an income coming in every single week that is able to cover that residual bill that always leaves you feeling that there's more month than money, then, you know, maybe that is something that is attractive to you. So network marketing is super, super simple with Isagenix. You eat the products, you share the products, and you'll be paid. Now, our premium nutrition system with Isagenix is the most popular starter kit for people. And we're going to hear some results from some of the people on the call tonight as well. And I'm going to flick through a few other results of people in the team. But if you were to share the most popular product with people in your lives, then you can be returned £200 in a week for helping two people, just simply helping two people. You know, what would that £200, how will that support and help you? How could that support and help someone else? Really, really important that we think beyond ourselves as well. So it all made perfect sense as to why Isagenix was distributed in this way. And I've loved helping these people who are about to share. So first up, I would love to invite Jeanette, if you can jump off mute and come share with these guys your journey.
Thanks, Corinne. Yeah, lovely. I started last May. So before Isagenix, I ran a home beauty salon. I also taught beauty therapy at a school, a girls' school. At that time, I was really, really exhausted, drained. Basically, all I did was work and come home and rest. I had no time for hobbies, which I really enjoy, like playing golf. I don't know what was actually going wrong with me at that time. I was probably about a stone overweight, but just not feeling out of sorts with myself. And I kept going back to the doctor. I had a few niggling health issues. I kept going back, and basically there was nothing wrong with me. But I ended up being very, very stressed, and that stress went on to being a bit of anxiety, which was the first time in my life. So I was introduced to Isagenix by my son, Stephen, and Corinne back then, and they kept telling me about the products for about 5 months, and every single time I said no, because basically I didn't believe in it, and I didn't think a product like that, how could it work when I was eating organic? I'm not a drinker. I was eating very, very well. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I did start on the products. I started my 30-day pack. And again, for the first week, didn't feel many results or changes. But on the 10th day, I noticed a dramatic change when I was driving behind the wheel of the car. I felt very relaxed. Normally I'd be very stressed, holding on, hoping for a parking space, getting angry with other drivers on the road. But I felt chilled, totally relaxed, and I couldn't care less. And this calmness throughout the month continued. During that time, I slept very well. The fogginess and the dizziness and the fog I had in my head started to go, and I started to think a lot clearer. So basically it's, well, last May, what's that, 15, 16 months? We've been using the products. It's part of our daily routine. We have the shake every morning with the Ionics, and I can't imagine a day without them, because it definitely does do something to your body. It changes you. You feel calmer. You lose weight. Everything within your body works more in harmony. And that's why I'm sitting here on this webinar sharing it really with you guys. And all I can say is a massive thank you, Corinne and Stephen, for telling us to jump on board.
Amazing, Jeanette. Thank you so much for sharing. Always such a beautiful share, and just such a huge impact for both you and Paul. So huge appreciation for both of you guys for showing up. Thank you. All right, up next we've got the beautiful Sophie. You still there, babe? You able to jump off mute and share? Yay, thank you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Hi everyone. Thanks for inviting me on to share my story. Basically, before I started Isagenix, I work in a hotel, so I work long shifts, long hours, and my eating routines can be all over the place. You know, I don't know where my next meal is going to be or what it's going to be. I usually get a bowl of chips put out at 11 o'clock at night, and because I'm so hungry, I'm stuffing my face. And I was slowly beginning to put on weight, and then overcompensating on my days off, going to the gym, and then, you know, eating as healthily as I could. And I was just in this vicious cycle of not getting the results that I wanted, because I just had no consistency at all in what I was doing. I was training hard for half marathons. I did a few over the years, and just not seeing the results I wanted. So yeah, the lovely Corinne introduced me to the products. I've been using them for about 14 months now. A little bit skeptical at first. I'd been watching Corinne's journey, but wasn't quite sure if it was for me. But ended up going to a taster party and saw Corinne, and she just was this absolute pillar of health. And I was like, I need whatever it is you're doing, I need to do it. So I signed up straight away and began my first 30 days. And yeah, for me, it was day 9, and I just saw the results. I just could not believe, and the headway that I'd made just in 9 days from being on this health journey for, like, you know, a few years. So yeah, since using the products, I've actually been pushing personal bests in the gym, being able to train for longer. So my energy levels have just been through the roof. Did a half marathon the other week and actually had the most amazing time. And also, I think most importantly, was the recovery. So the day after, I actually felt amazing. I could go to work. I was a little bit achy, but my recovery was just so much better than the previous run that I'd done. So all sorts of things, you know, like ditching the afternoon naps and being able to bring a shake in my bag to work. So instead of eating a bowl of chips, I was having a shake. So all the little tweaks that just really have enhanced my journey. And also being able to share with friends and family, again, just happening so naturally, and something that I never thought I could do, but absolutely love doing. So be going on to do this all my life, never ever giving up the product.
So gorgeous, Sophie. Thanks so much for jumping on and for taking time out of your evening. I know you just love contributing to other people as well. So beautiful share. Thank you. It's great to hear that all over again. I love it. So awesome. Alrighty, up next we've got the beautiful Jo, who's sharing with us for the first time. So huge love to you, Jo. If you can come off mute, hopefully your microphone's working now and we can hear you, hopefully. Oh, you're off mute, but we still can't hear you. Let me know how to link up your microphone.
Can anybody hear me?
Yay, there you are. Fabulous. Over to you, babe.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great, cool. Hi guys. My name's Jo. I've been using Isagenix for probably about a month and a half, 2 months now. I was introduced to it by Sophie, and again, a bit like Sophie was a bit like she'd messaged me and told me about the product, and I was a bit skeptical about it. Didn't know if it was something for me, but I was a bit like Corinne, working sort of 12, 13-hour shifts with autistic kids, so very sort of challenging and quite high pressured, and I was tired all the time. And I decided just before I was introduced to the product, I was changing my job anyway, so I was going back to college, and I needed something that I could sort of bring me back my energy again and be able to sit in a classroom for sort of 8 hours a day and actually be able to concentrate and all of that. So I thought I'd try this, and it was quite a while before I noticed a change, but suddenly I definitely feel I have energy back. I'm able to concentrate for longer. I'm able to do so many more things. And one of the products I absolutely love are the e-shots. I absolutely adore them. Drink them all the time. Find them so handy if I'm at college, learning quite high-tech stuff now, that if I have a shot in my bag, just drink it and I suddenly have so much more energy, and it's brilliant and I absolutely love it. I've been over to a taster evening at Liz's house, Sophie's mum's, and just was so inspired by Corinne's story and Sophie's story, and Steve's, met Steve, all of your stories, and just thought it's amazing, and I absolutely love it. And I'm trying to get my friends involved now so that they can share this journey and join in with everybody else.
So yeah, beautiful, Jo. Thank you so much for sharing. It's so awesome. Such a beautiful share, and I know how much you love those e-shots, and I'm with you on that one. Do love an e-shot. But yeah, I just love how much you really want to share this with other people. It's just so beautiful to be able to make that impact in other people's lives as well. That's the real gift, is sharing a good thing.
Yeah. Thanks,
babe. All right, let's flick on through a couple more of friends' results. This is my girlfriend Bianca, who's lost, I'm going to have to give it to you in kilos, I'm sorry, 25 kilos she has released with Isagenix and kept off for the last 3 years. The reason why she's got this hideous before photo with the orange jacket is because she refused to take a before photo before she started. But she now wishes she had, but she's had an amazing time. Alice is a mum of 2, one of my girlfriends who absolutely loves Ionix, loves that calm mummy tonic, as she calls it, and has found complete balance, like Jeanette was talking about, harmony and balance. This is my girlfriend Chelsea, who's been able to gain 20 kilos of lean muscle, which is incredible for a woman. She's done this over the course of a year, being just completely undernourished before Isagenix. So like I said, this is a nourishment wellness system. There's Paul showing us his amazing 16-week transformation. Just absolutely fantastic, and the impact that's had on his life and the rest of the family as well. Just so fantastic. That's my girlfriend Holly, who had been caring for her skin externally, very topically, who's had a huge shift in her health since ingesting wellness. A friend Braden here, who had some health issues before starting Isagenix and was just committed to nourishing his body and continued gymming and just was able to gain such phenomenal lean muscle mass in his 16 weeks. Nadia, my girlfriend who works in corporate, who was stressed, never able to eat consistently, was always on the go, in the car, was able to hugely utilize incorporating Isagenix and has done for the last 14 months. My girlfriend Bridie as well, who not only has she really shifted unwantedness of weight and exhaustion, but in the last year has managed to pay off 30 grand's worth of debt from really, really properly sharing Isagenix and getting into massive action. And my girlfriend Rachel's 16-week results, just outstanding, the work that she did. She was a mum of 2 young boys, and before she started, her youngest was 2 years old, And she was very, very miserable with the fact that she was just felt like she had tried everything and has just found consistency. And Rachel became an IsaBody finalist. So our 16-week accountability challenge, she became a finalist. So she won $3,000, which is about £2,000, and was up for being the grand prize finalist last year. It's my friend Taryn. This is her 6-week results. Just shows you the beautiful protein that is in our smoothies and how that supports the skin, elasticity of the skin. Sam's lean muscle. Dinny has shifted over 45 kilos with Isagenix, but why I really love to just sit on his story and share is because he has gone on to be able to run marathons and take part in Ironman. I don't know if that's something that in the UK is big, but Ironman is phenomenal. You've got running. It's basically like a triathlon, but extreme. And in doing so, he's been able to raise over $20,000 for charity, specifically children's charity here in New Zealand. So he's been able to put his good health to good use. I'm just going to flick through a few more. And so just to bring this to an end, and thanks for you guys for staying on because I've run a little bit over time. But how do you get started? You simply talk to the person that invited you to take a look at Isagenix, and we've got different wellness solutions for different people. So we'll have a conversation around your specific goals and how that looks. And you can really look to incorporate Isagenix on any level. If you want all your snacks, you want support on those cleanse days, you can choose from the good, better, and the best pack for starting off, because, it's so important that we give ourselves that full body reset at the beginning there. And that's the story that you've heard every single person share. Every person that shared live on the call has started on anything between the premium and the ultimate wellness system, which is where they've just been able to have that full nourishment and support throughout that whole first month. So I'll leave you with this. What does your heart say? Is it calling you to be part of a community that's going to uplift you and see you succeed and have you succeed? This community was a group of people that really, and in Isagenix, exceptional, especially the community with Isagenix is like no other. It is like no other. It's a group of people that will see you succeed. And, we all start for the products, but the community, and when you start getting together and attending some events with Isagenix, you'll see why you want to stick around. So I'm just going to stop the share so I can see everyone. And I'll just pause the recording there.